Hello, everybody. If you can see, Levi has the best spot in the house, or in the whole yard. He decided that sitting on Mom's lap was the best idea. They are very excited. I just came outside for the third time today, but for the first time to actually be outside for a good chunk of time. So I guess they were needing some attention. There's been a lot of gunshots in the neighborhood again, and so they don't like that. They typically get kind of freaked out, so they're hanging out close to Mom. So I think today I wanted to walk you guys through two different topics. One is a really frequently asked question that I get is, what is the what is the meaning of my tattoo? Who are the people on my tattoo? What does it represent? The one on my arm, the one that y'all see the most. And then the other thing was I was gonna kind of just show you the garden area and just really quickly talk through it, kind of the plans, next steps for it, since it's been a project that I've been working on for quite some time and I'd like to get it finished here this winter. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and get started. What was that? Oh, it was a chicken back there. All sorts of fun stuff. All right, Levi, buddy, you are just too much right now. Okay, okay, yeah, you just lay down. And I think you're laying on a microphone, so hopefully that's not too bad. Okay, so I'll start with the reason I got the tattoo and kind of the meaning behind it. So for me, every tattoo that I have has some type of meaning behind it. And I wanted, if I'm putting something permanently on my body, I want it to mean something to me and something that's not going to change, as I get older, or, just something that it's pretty much a constant. So for me, there's another gunshot. All right, buds. So for me, I got, Levi, excuse you. Okay, buddy. You're gonna have to behave or we're gonna have to move you. So this is my grandma, and this is a picture of her. I think she was around 2 years old. I could be wrong, but obviously as a toddler. And the reason I chose that one is kind of two reasons. My grandma was my person. She was my everything, and I got this before she passed away. But she meant a lot to me, and I wanted to do it kind of in reverse order than what is typical, so I chose to feature her at a young part of her life. And I think, it's a critical stage. You're starting to walk and talk and getting feelings and all of that stuff. So as a person or as a woman, it's a very important part of your life. And then this next one here is my mom. And this is a picture of my mom when she had graduated high school and just going into college. And this is, again, another kind of moment in time in your life where, you're starting to adult. You're probably moving out for the first time, adulting, things are changing. And then because, I just thought it would be kind of interesting to progress this even further. Your next life stage is typically going to be when you're an empty nester. So it's just kind of a play on, we kind of jokingly made it like an older lady version of me, but not necessarily. So what brought this kind of idea on was my tattoo artist that I'd been working with for a while and has done several other tattoos on me, had just had his daughter, had just had his first child, which was a little girl, and his mom was in country visiting from Korea. And so we kind of just started the conversation and, really just talked about how interesting it was and how you could see yourself in the different stages. And so that's kind of how the idea of this came up. And of course, like I mentioned, I wanted to change or transition kind of the life stages, or, you know, the roles. I didn't want my grandma in current state and my mom in current state and me in current state. I really wanted to, you know, pick different stages that kind of meant something. And then what you typically don't see is the backside. So, you know, those are kind of the 3 stages of your life. And then everyone, unfortunately, at some time does pass away. And I'm very spiritual and also love nature, love trees. And so this was kind of a play off of a bird and its wings turning into evergreens. And just basically that, you know, there's a lot of life out there too. And so that was kind of the inspiration and the meaning behind my tattoo, and kind of what it means, as well as who's on it. So I know that's been asked several times. It's some of my mom's favorite flowers. She loves yellow roses. I love poppies, leaves, and daisies. So we also kind of, you know, added in a lot of other elements in there that either meant something to us or that just really liked. So with that, hopefully that answers everyone's questions. All right. So second thing I wanted to talk about was the garden. And this is the garden space. And if you've seen it, we should be having a video coming out here pretty soon of me clearing all of this. So I don't know if y'all remember how crazy full this was, but there was like 4 trees that got taken out, a whole bunch of shrubs, 2 smaller trees that were on the side of this. And this is the area where we were talking that, joking in yesterday's video that I scratched my mom's neck. That was the tree, and those right there where that rooster is the branches that were in question. Very spiky bushes. And I kind of hauled most of it off to that pile over there. I still have some cleanup, but I at least can visualize this area. So I have a couple things to consider. One is this power line that we have to allow access. So we cannot impede or completely block the ability for the utilities to be able to get to this power pole. They do come and they treat it, they check on it, I believe once a year. It could be twice a year. But so we have had, you know, fencing, portable fencing here for the animals to run them through these areas, which is fine. We just move it out of their way, but we have to make sure there's access, which is really unfortunate because from basically this point where the hay bale has been sitting straight across to that little rock outcropping right there that looks like it's a bunch of weeds, but it's a big rock, is really flat for the most part. And so I had kind of wanted to start the garden area here and extend it up and bring it up to basically about the trees, which I cannot do because I plan on putting a fence completely around it to keep animals out and, you know, keep it a little protected so the chickens stay out of it, and so that bunnies and, you know, deer hopefully, and all of that. So as you can see, it starts to get a little rough in here. I can smooth some of this out, but this is a big hill, and under Nate Jr. here you can see a rock. So there's a big rock outcropping there. You can see the big huge rock right here. So while I can smooth some of this, found a stash of eggs. All right, but these huge rocks. So there's nothing I can do about this. There's eggs everywhere. Oh my goodness. I think it's these girls because they're sleeping. They're using this as their coop right now. But you can see spiky bushes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I don't want to go around the tree. It is a persimmon tree, but I do not want it to be inside of the fencing. And so my thoughts are, and kind of, I'll see if I can find an inspiration photo and insert it here of kind of what I'm thinking. If I can find a couple of them. But basically what I want to do is I want to have an entrance over on that side, and I want to have the greenhouse over on this side. And the greenhouse will be a future build. A lot of those windows that I bought quite a while back, it's going to be a custom made one that we're going to create and design based on the scrap pieces that we have available. We're going to try not to spend a bunch of money on it, so it'll be a lot of recycled items. So greenhouse would be here. The sliding glass door that we removed from the house, I want that to be on the back side. So it'll be all glass. And then we have a front door that it'll be a normal exterior front door that'll be on the front. And then the fencing will come around the greenhouse, and it'll come, you know, down in here. So I have 2 of these large U-shaped, they're the extra large size from Vigo, metal garden beds. So I have 2 of these, and then I have, if you can see down there, just the regular kind of normal shaped metal one. I have 2 more of those with a trellis system. And so what my thoughts are is I will put, you know, this will be on one side, the 2 with the trellis will be in the middle, and then another one of these will be capping the other side, and that'll kind of go along here. And eventually I'd like to get 2 more of these and another set of the trellis systems, and then maybe even 3 trellis systems, and have 1, 2, 3, and then have these kind of as squares in the corners. I also want to do, I have fabric that'll be laid down for pathways, and then I want to do walking paths. I'm not sure if I want to do the rock that matches down there, or if we're just going to use mulch. So that's still a to be determined. I'm not 100% which way I want to go yet, but I do want it to be nice and clean, pathways in between. And again, the chickens will only be allowed in there if we open the doors or the gates to let them in. And then there'll be a gate, you know, at the beginning. So footprint wise, I'm not thinking as long, because like I mentioned, I don't want the tree inside of it. So it'll probably, I'm probably gonna have to put it on one side of the rock outcropping. So it'll probably have to come this way a little bit. So it'll likely just go straight here, and then come up, and then come, and not include this tree either. So it's kind of what my thoughts are right now, or I might extend it on the other side of the rock outcropping and just have a rock outcropping in the middle of my garden area, and maybe I can make it a feature with some planting, like some creeping, flowering stuff. I don't know. Haven't quite designed it exactly, but I at least have the dimensions in this built, so I can start the layout and the planning of it, and then thinking through how I want to expand it for future. So I'd be very curious to see if any of you have a garden similar to that, or what's worked really well in the past, how much layout. I'm thinking about between like a 3-foot and a 4-foot in between the beds, at least for a walking space, because I want to make sure I have the ability to either add stuff in later on, or plenty of room to get a wheelbarrow down, to get a cart down, so that I can spread, you know, bedding or add more soil or bring plants in. So hopefully that all makes sense. Those are kind of the thoughts that I have right now and what I'm thinking through. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. on the garden situation. All right. Weirdo rooster. He's chasing one of his hens. He is a goof. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna pick Nate Jr. up. We had 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts last night. It was kind of crazy. Other than that, all the animals are doing good. Nate's doing good. Doggies are doing good. Kinsley's just in the RV right now. She didn't want to come outside. And Levi decided that he didn't like it that I didn't want him on my lap anymore, so he decided to go and lay down. All right. Well, take care, everyone. Oh, I had a dirty lens this whole time. Hopefully that doesn't show up. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye. All right, Nate Jr. Watch out, Winnie. You gotta watch out, Winston. Oh my goodness. If you weren't underfoot, I don't know where you'd be. His britches are on, crooked. All right. Get him all fixed up here. All right. Scariest scarecrow ever. Skinny little stick man. Say bye, Winnie.